lots of times we need to remind ourselves to assert ourselves, because more often than not, if the room is more a majority of men and people who are more senior or people who know more. So don't be afraid unless, you're just bullshitting your way. You need to be in touch with what the common audience is, what is their story, and what are they going through, on a day-to-day basis. And I think that is very, very important, because for box office, it is the general audience that actually come in.
To be very honest, even those big tentpole commercial movies are a lot of fun, and I think that it doesn't mean that there's no art in that, there isn't any craft in that. I, in fact, find it extremely difficult to keep my mascara from running when I'm crying, or crying prettily, or keeping my chin down while I'm staring at my co-actor. So it's a completely different syntax of cinema.
In my career, I've not had a 100 crore film, but I am very happy in my shiny little corner because I was never even gunning for it. I'm gunning for a global distribution, and I'm on the path of that.
I think for me, it's really about surrender and going on this journey, which to me is really Wonderland. And I love it. I feel like like I'm in this magical land, and it's a very, very freeing, liberating feeling.
Thank you for being here, and you all look smashing. I love it. Archana, I'm going to start with you. So Archana runs AGS Cinemas, has just delivered a blockbuster called Dragon. And before that, made Love Today. And also has made, yes, that is sorry. Okay, it's a movie called Love Today. and folks, she's also made a film called Goat with Talapati Vijay. That film, guys, cost 400 crore. So please do not talk about women not being able to produce massive movies. Okay? She signed a paycheck that was 200 crores for her leading man. Yes, 200 crores. I love that. Yeah, what did that feel like just to say 200 crores?
Thank you for having me here. And no, I think it is one of my favorite films that we've made at AGS. And I think Vijay sir is also one of my favorite actors. So I think that's my second film with him. The first one we made was Biggle with Atlee. That was my first film that I also was a producer on set. So I think it was an amazing experience. So yeah, it felt good.
So Archana, from running cinemas and from making these movies, what have you understood about the art of making films that appeal at a mass level, that bring people back into theaters? What's the secret sauce?
I think there's an advantage of running multiplexes. So I watch all my films in theaters. So I think that is something that I do as a habit, and I've been doing that for the last 20 years. I think that sort of gives you an idea as to what the general audience actually likes and what they respond to. So that is something that we process. So when we listen to scripts and we sort of greenlight a project, we sort of look for certain elements that will resonate with the audience, because I think you need to be in touch with what the common audience is, what is their story, and what are they going through, on a day-to-day basis. And I think that is very, very important, because for box office, it is the general audience that actually come in. OTT, we cater to a different sector. So I think it's very important to be real and to do real stories. And that is what we've done at AGS.
Janvi, one of the things I really love about how you sort of maneuvered your career is that from the beginning you leaned into films that were led by the characters you played. So, Gunjan Saxena, Millie, Good Luck Jerry, Ulaj. But of course, you're also doing the big tent poles, right? What's the art of balancing films for the soul with films for stardom?
Firstly, I just want to say thank you for having me here. I'm awestruck by everyone in this room. I'm pinching myself. Whoever whistled, thank you for that confidence boost. I really needed it. I'm like shaking being on the stage with all of these wonderful women that I look up to and respect so much. To answer your question, Anu ma'am, I think I just find that I'm so fortunate and so lucky that I got to be a part of these movies that, like you said, felt good for the soul. But I think that it was something I automatically gravitated towards because after my first movie, Dhadak, I feel like the kind of reactions that I had and after what I expected out of myself as an actor, I just felt like I wanted to prove to myself that I have something to add. My journey always felt like my agenda was more to be an actor and not so much to be a star, and that's what I wanted to focus on first because I really am in love with the craft. I am in love with the world of cinema. And so I wanted to be a part of stories that meant something to me. And I also think as an actor, especially early on, it's actually very helpful to be a part of scripts where your character is well written on paper. I think it helps you in terms of performance as well. So I think I've been very fortunate to get those films. But then I started understanding and realizing the importance of having reach. I think that's a polite way of saying commercial success, because if you want to keep doing films that are good for the soul, like I truly do, for producers to come to you and greenlight those projects, you need to have a sort of box office portfolio, a positive, a beta portfolio, if that makes sense. So you need to keep the balance, and to be very honest, even those big tentpole commercial movies are a lot of fun, and I think that it doesn't mean that there's no art in that, there isn't any craft in that. I, in fact, find it extremely difficult to keep my mascara from running when I'm crying or crying prettily or keeping my chin down while I'm staring at my co-actor. So it's a completely different syntax of cinema. Sometimes they marry together beautifully, but I'm enjoying, and I think I'm extremely fortunate, touch wood, and lucky, and thank God that I get to do both. So yeah.
Nice. Kiran, what a glorious run you had last year with Lapata Ladies. Nitanshi Goel is here, Chaya Kadam is here, you know, so lovely. Now that you're writing the next one, how does the success of this one, does it inform it in any way, or do you become a student and a beginner all over again?
I think I got inordinately lucky to be able to make a film like Lapata Ladies exactly the way I wanted to make it, and also that the audience received it the way I wanted to make it, which I'm honored and grateful for. Honestly, it's not often that a filmmaker feels the kind of love this film has felt. So I don't know whether I'll ever be able to kind of achieve that again. So. I kind of want to put it behind me, and it's wonderful, and it's like a lovely sort of trophy in my shelf, and I'm now going to kind of literally go back to the drawing board. And I'm a very young student, honestly. Like, there are people here who've made many more films and many more successful films than me. I think all of us, when we're making a film, feel that sort of pit, like sort of hollow in the pit of our stomachs, thinking, will this work? What do I want, And I think that it's the challenge that we do it for. It's the excitement. But what I've learned from this, I really want to kind of, take forward in whatever I do next, which is to try and make cinema that I believe in, but that can work. Like you were talking about the secret sauce, being able to do. I think all of us want to do films that everyone wants to watch. And I think for that, I really need to learn. I need to learn not just replicate what's working, but in order to subvert and disrupt, what is sort of taken as the way a successful film works, which is usually a larger than life hero, or in this case now, more often than not, anti-hero that is succeeding in commercial cinema. I'm keen to take that sort of model and look at how I can work with it and subvert it and get people to watch it and still take away what I would like them to take away. So anyway, yes, I'm going to go back to being a student and learning how to make films all over again.
You know, yes, please, a round of applause. Amir had told me that she always says, you know, like her leanings are more arty and all, but inside there was a real mass masala kida that came out.
It's true, yeah.
Aditi, you've worked with some of our country's finest directors, Mani Sir, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, but I felt like you really came into your own with long form storytelling, with what the work you did in Jubilee, with the work you did in Hira Mandi. I mean, I don't know too many actors whose 3-second walk became a sensation. That's what she did. You know, incredible. Incredible. Tell me, do you find long form is more satisfying? And is there a difference between the way you choose your films and the way you choose your series?
Actually, firstly, thank you for having me here. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm feeling a bit of a hashtag no pressure moment because this is a very inspiring room and a very lovely panel. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to think aloud. I think for me, films are really about reaching out to people. I mean, cinema, whether it's long form or a film that goes into the theaters or on OTT, it's really about what it is that I'm feeling that you want the other person to feel, and you want them to be immersed in your world. And that's the relationship that it's all about. I've learned that from some of the incredible directors that I've worked with. And I think for me, it's really about surrender and going on this journey, which to me is really Wonderland. And I love it. I feel like like I'm in this magical land, and it's a very, very freeing, liberating feeling. And I think I enjoy doing it with a certain kind of team and a certain kind of director and a certain kind of story. So I'm not looking at it as long form or short form or anything, or a short story or and I don't even look at it like that. Having said that, yes, Jubilee and Hira Mandi have been more recently amazing for me. But I think it was just the fact that they were in some incredible directors. The parts were written beautifully, and I was there, present, and surrendering to that process. And I have done it every time. I enjoy doing it every time. The way that I have learned and what I like to do every day is to completely sort of suspension of disbelief at every moment and to be present. And that is my fuel and that's my joy. I don't look at anything else. Yeah, and I want to keep that purity alive forever and ever so that I can keep working in the same way. And I hope that people find me, because there is that too. You have to be found for the parts that you then end up playing. So, yeah.
Guneet, I have said this to you before, but to me, you embody hustle, and I mean that in the best way. You know that. Tell me, at this moment, at this current moment, when conventional wisdom states that it's all about the big event movie in theaters, it's all about men saving the world, and before that, they'll kill many, many other men. What does the independent producer do? What is the independent producer's hustle right now?
Thank you, Anu, for having me here, and absolutely in awe of this room and the minds on the stage. I was slightly nervous being the last one answering this question. So, I have actually always been in the independent corner. And I've always seen the world with, I've had no limitations, because largely, my work has been with first-time directors. And we don't know the limits of storytelling. I actually want to continue remaining that. I want to continue dreaming without fear. Because when you start out in the industry, you're fearless. you know, and then rules set in, fear sets in, ye chalega, ye nahi chalega, you know. And right now you see all that crumbling, you know, you see all the rules, all the project, all the formulas, all the, something that's worked in another territory, let's bring it here, you know. So I think it is the time for originality, and that comes from fearlessness, that comes from not knowing, and being a clean slate, wanting to learn. I mean, my company is called Sikhya Entertainment, which means keep learning. uh, so I want to continue surrendering to the craft and not knowing where I can take it. From day one, when I was told, you know, our films will work internationally, I didn't know how to. But it was me just parking myself there. I'm like, I'm going to figure it out how. Who are the people who are going to make it work? You know, what is their articulation? How do they look at us? And why will they partner with us? So, starting from there, one step at a time, now it's been 2 decades of making independent films, 40 plus films. And I want to continue doing that. And I feel that it is the time for originality at the core of it. So, you know, it's time to have more faith in your own thought, in original ideas, and that courage, which doesn't come with any safety nets, you know, because it's like Vidya so beautifully put, like, you know, it's not about who's starring in it, it is about what is it that we are trying to say, you know. And if a 12th fail and a Lapata ladies and an extreme action film like Kill works to the point we are selling remake to to the director of John Wick, it's time to believe in ourselves. It's time to believe in our people, our craft, our knowledge, our know-how, our cinematic excellence, and put us, our stories, our color, and our country on the map through our stories. So I feel, thank you. I do feel that it is time to expand our box office and our footprint territory wise. And I've always felt that. In my career, I've not had 100 crore film, but I am very happy in my shiny little corner because I was never even gunning for it. You know, I'm gunning for a global distribution and I'm on the path of that. So, continuously putting Indian films, irrespective of the language, on the map. So, to be able to just, you know, dream outside the box. It's needed.
That's lovely. Let's dream outside the box, everyone. Okay, now 3 quick questions that you guys have to answer quickly. What is the one thing people should not say to you? Janvi.
Something people should not say to me?
Yeah.
No, people say anything and everything to me, and I've just come to be okay with it. Honestly, I'm all good. My skin's
What
gotten
bugs you?
thick. The list is long, Anu ma'am, but honestly, I've gotten to a point where nothing bugs me. I think with the baggage of privilege comes this sense of being a little apologetic about taking up the space that you take. And so I kind of feel like, and I don't know if this is exclusively to do with my privilege and being told that I've gotten things easily, or it does kind of have something to do with being female in this industry or in any industry, but you kind of feel like you just have to be okay with things. You have to be the bigger person. You have to let things slide. You have to be gracious about things. You can't be too opinionated because then you might seem like you have an ego, and you kind of, even if you see things that are kind of unfair, you just have to turn a blind eye to it and smile and continue to work, because agar true bhi kar liya to log kahenge ki difficult hai, and that's something that I would hate. So I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but I do sometimes. I don't know if this answered your question. I feel like I digressed, but yeah, that's what I feel.
Archana, what should somebody not say to you?
Mostly, like, I think if someone says you're a girl and you can't do this because you're a girl, I don't like that. Then I'll go and do it just to prove a point.
Aditi?
Running for my mic. Oh my God, what I hate hearing is, oh my God, you're so delicate and you're so vulnerable, you'll break if I touch you. And I'm like, I will save you in a storm. So shut up.
Kiran?
people telling me, you have to make more films, you have to make another Lapata Ladies. Like people are constantly telling me make the same, have to make more Lapata Ladies. And I'm like, no, but I made it already. it's done. Another thing I hate is people telling me, Amir Khan ki wife, introducing me as Amir Khan ki wife. That drives me bananas.
Yeah.
Understand it.
Guneet.
I hear it all the time. आज तक छोटी picture बनाई है, बड़ी picture कैसे बनाओगे? I was like, watch me, I'm on the path. पहले बोलते थे आज तक dramas किए हैं, action कैसे करोगे? To winning and being nominated around the world for best action. To कि तेरी फिल्में फ्रांस में चलती है. What about मध्य प्रदेश? I was like, watch me. Yeah. So it'll be global domination.
We settle for nothing less. Love it, love it.
My honor. You shine, I shine.
Okay. A career hack, guys. One practical tip, not the believe in yourself, find your voice. Practical tip that's helped you get where you are.
Just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irrespective of the previous day, I just show up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Janvi.
Yeah, I think just put your this is exactly what you told me not to say, but just keep working hard. And I think one thing that's worked well for me is to just be honest, like in front of the camera with your work, when you're sitting on a panel on stage, no matter how politically incorrect the things you say are, just be honest, because even if you get kind of held up for it, you know that you were just saying the truth, and it's important to speak your truth in your art, in life, everywhere.
Yeah. Guneet.
I'm genuinely not saying this for this, but I truly, truly do this as a practice, and our team and everybody in the office knows it. It's celebrating the no's, because the best yes is coming. We actually get very happy. Arey, jaldi se aa gaya bas. I enter rooms and I'm like, आपको नहीं करना ना, बस जल्दी बोल दो. Do me a favor. For my 2 decades of hustle, बस जल्दी बोल दो.
Yeah.
So एक बार ऐसा हुआ था, we were doing a project जिसमें series में सबने मना किया, और हम लोग बहुत मायूस बैठे हुए थे. Like there was a meeting in the room and it was literally like, we love the project, and it was just complicated times for external reasons, and the energy in the room is like something has died, like itni mayusi thi, and all I could do is like, oh, phir gali mein Aishwarya aayi. You have to keep going on. So yeah, and then everybody started singing, my whole team, and I was like, we keep going.
Exactly. Exactly. Aditi.
Many practical things, but I think one, I've worked with a lot of directors who expect you to be like on time. So land up 10 minutes before they arrive on set. That's one practical thing. It really helps because you can also breathe easy. The second thing is, I feel to always be open to listening. Leave yourself and your ego outside, come onto set, and then just open yourself up to whatever is thrown at you. And understand that that is the process of creation. Whether it's in front of your dance teacher or your director or anybody who's creating, they need that space to create with you. And I think one has to give it to them. And that's actually what is really fun, to mold yourself and to keep molding and to keep learning like a little 5-year-old. So I think that.
Yeah.
Lovely. I don't need to say this actually in a room full of such like achiever women, but I think lots of times we need to remind ourselves to assert ourselves. To assert yourself respectfully, but assert yourself, because more often than not, the room is more a majority of men and people who are more senior or people who know more. So don't be afraid unless you're just bullshitting your way. But assert yourself respectfully, but assert yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, one last question. What makes you happy, Archana?
Movies make me happy. I think I'm the happiest when I'm either making it or watching it or listening to a new story and ideas. So movies truly make me happy, and I think I'm very blessed to be working in that space as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same. Like literally same. Movies make me happy ever since I was a kid. I think it's what I escaped to. It's where I learned from. It's in my blood. Every happy memory at home with my parents has been either on a film set because of the success of a movie, because there was a good narration, or while watching a movie together. So movies really are everything to me, and I think to so many people in this country.
You know, the final mix. The final mix makes me truly, truly happy. When picture, sound, music comes together, I was like, this is the day we live for. This is the day we fought so many battles, took so many decisions. I have tears in my eyes and joy in my soul. You know, my soul lights up. I'm like, this. This is the absolute truth and the wonder. We work in the business of wonder and we create it. We get to live it. We get to be it. I mean, it's amazing. So the day of final mix gives me ultimate joy and high.
I think for me, that time between action and cut, there is this magical silence. There is infinite possibility in that silence. You can go anywhere. You can live any dream. And for me, that silence is, there's rhythm and music in that silence. And that is the most exciting, magical feeling. And that makes me very happy.
I think a locked script makes me really happy. Thank you to all the writers in this room. We love you. That and prep. I think I don't know about other directors, but I love prep. It's a time, again, of infinite possibilities, and you're playing with ideas, you're planning all these things in your head, and then, then the shoot happens. No, I'm just kidding. Shoot is amazing, but yeah. I mean, filmmaking is just such a joy, but a locked script and then getting to plan it is the most fun for me.
Nice. Nice. Thank you to all of you, and really more power to all of you. Go forth and conquer. And Janvi, speak your mind.
Thank you.
Do not feel like you can't say what you need to say.
Thank you. I'm working on it. I'm getting there. I spoke on the stage today.
Yeah, no, we do get what you're saying. It is a tough negotiation. But thank you, all of you. And I would love for you to step in front for a photo op, but we would also love to present you, as a token of our appreciation, a hamper from our gifting partner, The Gift Studio, in which there is my favorite, a gift of nostalgia, the Saregama Karwa.
Can I please request each of you lovely ladies to kindly accept this beautiful gift